Ja, bij mij is die ook nog ongebruikt, jongen. Die kregen we toch in het begin.
Ja, tijdens de 7 pagina's.
Ja. Kijk, dat was het eigenlijk. We gaan ze doen, dus wij gaan kijken voor de 13 of 14 en dan zeg je maar beginnen. En dan kan je zo, dit is ook een vast
Bellatrice here. Bellatrice from Italy, is already here. Ah, there you are. Hi, welcome. Welcome everybody, welcome. To start, just before I introduce myself and you to each other. Hello, welcome, come in. Ah, now we're complete, very good. I think you are. Very close. Would you mind if we do this whole session and this course in English? Because the reason is that apart from maybe some people that come from Germany, like myself, they don't speak so fluent Dutch. No, ik spreek ook gewoon Nederlands hoor. Maar Bellatrice is also here, she's from Italy, and I don't think you had the chance to learn Dutch yet, right?
No.
So she's a guest in this course, coming from Italy, and I think therefore it would be fair that she does understand something, so we can do this in English. In any case, if you ever have any problem with any word that you don't understand, just ask the question, I'll repeat it in Dutch, okay? No problem at all. Okay. Anyway, welcome everybody, very nice to see you here. This room is a little bit one-way traffic. What I had planned to do is also to do an introduction round, and maybe you could stand up and introduce yourself briefly, but I'll first do this part and then you make this introduction a little bit so we can get to know each other. I think that's a good start for the course. As you know, there's been a major reorganization of the minor as compared to other years. A couple of years ago we started with groups of 3 to 4 people in our lab. That were really doing practical experiments that were related to research directly, and then there have been more professional and last slightly bigger groups of 10 and 14. At some point we had 20 students, went back to 14. Now we have the biggest group ever, and that is a problem in some ways and an advantage some other. The problem is that none of the rooms that we have, or very few of the rooms that we have at this university are really for this type of big group of teaching. So that's very limited because normally we did things in PGO style group of 14 students. And our lab is also not designed for such large number of students. So we have to improvise a little bit. So I need your motivation and your feedback and improvisation skills as well as I need my own. So just to introduce very briefly, the course has 6 modules. Most of you have chosen the neuroscience and toxicology of the course. One person didn't mind, he or she found both courses equally interested, and I think 2 of you had a preference for the other course. I hope all of you will be convinced that you have made the right choice or were lucky one way or the other. So I'm really looking forward to doing this with you. I'm not going to teach all of it myself, of course. The first week I'm going to do with you. After that I have to hand you over to the hands of my colleagues, and in this week 4 to 6 there will be Gea from toxicology that will take over. So the 2 parts are not completely integrated as such, but we have done our best for the first part as well to find some topics that relate to toxicology as well. So within neuroscience and toxicology there are many links. That's why we have reorganized the whole schedule as far as possible and to find some topics that relate to toxicology. So to make it a whole. Generally this will be the structure. It's not as consequent always, but there will be 6 modules of course, because there are 6 teaching weeks. The last teaching week will be slightly shorter because of the exam at the end. On Monday we'll generally have an introduction to the topic and a PBL or discussion amongst each other. There will be 1 or 2 practicals each week. In most of the week, 1 is more with a theoretical assignment. There will be a couple of lectures. There will be some courses or some modules will have demonstration, and in the whole course we'll organize 4 journal clubs. On Friday, and generally, we will have the discussion of the PBL or the assignments to discuss the assignments that we've given to you. So I'll ask you to make a couple of presentations. Generally, in our module, this will be about the experiment that we're doing this week. So that's me. That's module 1. That's the coordinator of Module 2, that's Ronald Dermans, colleague of mine. He has a research focus on pain and spinal cord injury, and what he will be doing is an experiment based on a xenograph, so a material that will have nerve regeneration, and you'll be testing a compound that is used clinically. The third module is coordinated by Daniel van der Hove, so you already know the face, and maybe you've seen him around in our department. His research focus is depression in general. His biological mechanisms that he's interested in is gene and environment. So genetic interaction with the environment and what kind of consequences that has for disease. The schedule is a little bit of a mess because last minute we have to reorganize everything. The main reason is that there are not so many rooms that are okay for 30 or more students, because there are lots of small rooms available, so that was going up and down. It was very difficult to get everything organized. Partly also related to the fact that the content is completely new. So we're a little bit late with everything. My apologies for that. But I said already, if that gives any problem for you, we will try to arrange something. So I think there's already 2 people that contacted me about that. So I'm very flexible with it, and I will help organizing it with my colleagues if there's any problem. So just come to me and we'll arrange something. Okay? I got you. Hey, so, of course, we have to judge your performance in some way. There's guidelines as to how to do something like that, and 50% of it that's in the rules is based on the written reports, and I include in those the presentation and assignments that are the PowerPoint presentations. If the coordinators ask for this type of written documentation of that particular week. So that will also take into account. I would like there's a Dropbox in Eleum, so you submit it in that way. That is a little bit more flexible than email, because sometimes too big attachments don't get sent, so 10 MB is the maximum for email. And I do get a lot of emails, so do my colleagues. And so I think the Dropbox is maybe the easiest way to submit any files to the coordinators or teachers. Okay, there will be 4 journal clubs, and those are important because very often scientific literature is discussed among colleagues, and you need to interact with your colleagues based on such a publication, for example. So we'll train discussion of literature in that context. We'll also organize one this week. And 30% of the grade that you will get for this course is the final exam, which is the exam that will represent all the parts of the course. It's an open block tools, so that will mean that you can take all your notes. If you want also books, I promise you will not need any book. They will not help you. So what is going to be asked in the course are questions that are based on understanding and not actual knowledge. So I'm not going to ask you how many nanomolar sodium chloride is in saline. Another question like this, I'm going to ask you something that is related to understanding of the contents. Yeah. I think. Yeah. This is a maybe silly slide. I would like you to attend always. If there's a problem, if you're ill, of course, you just need to mail me. If you have any other appointments, just contact me and we arrange something, right? I mean, there's always a possibility that you have important other things that cannot be organized in any other way. And in general, we'll figure something out with a replacement assignment or something like this. Is that okay with you? Sounds fair? Okay. That's for this. Maybe just to introduce myself, I'm a lecturer, a docent. This university, I spend most of my time doing research. One is on Alzheimer's disease and immunotherapy. We produce monoclonal antibodies to treat mice and mouse models with Alzheimer's disease. And that's one of my projects. And the second one is related to myasthenia gravis. It's a VENIC project of NWO. And there I'm investigating the effector functions of some autoantibodies that I find. And they're interesting because they offer different antibody isotype that normally is not causing disease, and in this case it does. So I'm trying to figure out what that does. But this second disease, we have one student that's particularly expert because he wrote his literature assignment on this, yours and there. And maybe we should take that as a start, because I also want to get you a little bit, and you want to know each other because we'll be working together the next 6 weeks. So just stand up and say a name, maybe what your plans for the future are, because you are going to study maybe a master course or something else, to just see what your motivation was to select this course. If you selected neuroscience, there was not too much choice of course this time. But in any case, just say something about yourself, what your plans are, who you are. So maybe not start with Jon, because that will reorganize the so just, why don't we start with you, since you're sitting in the front and close to me. So if you get up so the others also see you. It's a little bit difficult.
Okay, I think you all know each other. Yeah.
You all do? Everybody does?
We've got a small group.
Okay, this year is a smaller group, yes. So you do know each other all by name, right?
Most of them,
First name.
yeah.
Maybe then, just because